guys, it's JQ Crafty. Welcome to Tuesdays in the Attic. I'm going to apologize for my lights again. My new light is on its way, but it didn't arrive until this video was supposed to go up, and I was actually kind of ahead of schedule, so I wanted to keep that rolling. We are doing Tuesdays in the Attic. We are doing this sketch from Dusty Attic Sketches. A nice sketch, like relatively simple. Love it. Great way to showcase, I think, these photos of my son and my niece together at one of their sleepovers they've had. Now, this sketch has one 4x6 photo and two 3x4. So I have this 4x6. Well, they're not quite 4x6. They're that whole 5.25, because when they print them nowadays at print places, I don't understand that, but I'm actually probably going to split this because there's no like relation to how they're sitting except for the fact that they're sitting together. So I think I'm gonna split it so there's two separate photos, and then I can tilt them, so I technically then will have my three photos, which I thought would be kind of fun. I'm going to play with my How to Kill a Kit with Style. I will have that linked up above in the card, and I think we're going to play a little bit with this Brave and Bold paper. I really like this, and the colors kind of go with what's going on. And yeah, that's what I'm feeling so far. So, and there's not a lot otherwise going on with this layout. I might add some of this pink paper. I haven't decided yet. Or maybe some of this turquoise stripe too, because that kind of goes. So we'll see. I got to play around with it a little bit, but I'm for sure going to use that. We need a white piece of cardstock, and I am going to frame it in black, just like it has on the sketch. And yeah, let's get started. So this layout came together relatively quickly. This sketch is simple. This is definitely one too. You could add a ton of it or more things to it to make it your own. So I'm going ahead and doing the white cardstock matted on the black, or the black matte on the white cardstock, however you want to say it. Getting that down. And then I'm going to start tearing my paper. So I'm just going to cut about an 8-inch section off, 8x12 section off that Brave and Bold paper. Or did I do 7? I think I did 7. And then I just tore all the way around it, rounding the corners. You get the pops of color. You get the graphic a little bit, but it's not like too crazy. I'm going to mat my photos really quick on some black cardstock. I had some scrap laying around, and when I was grabbing, so I have this little bin kind of at the front of my desk, just in front of me. That I have like whenever I do any colored cardstock, or sometimes if I have like just a few pattern papers left over, I'll just stick them in there, especially if they're small. Good for either like making a tag, making a label, you know, just like that kind of size, or like matting small photos, cutting a banner, just scraps that are going to be useful pretty much no matter what, like universal scraps. So there's not a lot of like uber pattern papers in there. But there were some pattern papers from, I'm trying to remember what collection they're from. I think they might even be a Vicki Boutin collection. I'm not for sure which collection they were from. But I had a scrap of this like light blue that pretty much matches the light blue in this Brave and Bold pattern paper. So I grab it, and I'm actually going to use it. So I'm looking through all my other stuff, trying to figure out what else I would possibly want to use. I thought maybe that yellow cardstock. I ended up not using it. I ended up using just the blue pattern paper that I found sitting at the front of my desk, and then one of those bold turquoise stripe patterns. So here I am ripping, like I said, no science about it, just kind of ripping all the way around. I'm going to place that down and then figure out how I want my photos. And I really like the cutting up of those two photos because they're still together. So it still looks as though they're sitting on the bench together, but the photo isn't inhibiting me in a way that I can only put it a certain way. So I can move those around a little bit if I want. They're pretty much going to stay the way they are right now. So I wanted to use one of these tabs on the sticker sheet, but then I had a tab, an actual like tab left over from that photoplay collection. I was looking through the ephemera there. So I'm just going to layer it on there to give more pink to the background and to make that tab stand out because it is white. I do end up adding some mixed media in the background, but not a ton, but enough that it may have stood out. But this way it stands out even more. And I'm going to add more up into that upper part as well, just to add something else to the page. So I'm going to glue all this stuff together, and then I'm going to pop up this larger photo on foam, and then I'm going to have this whole like pattern paper centerpiece all glued together so it can move as one, and then I'm going to do my mixed media. That way I can kind of pull it off and like look to see where the mixed media is popping out and see if I have enough on there, if it's doing what I want it to do. Now, I didn't gesso this paper or anything, so it's just going to absorb what I have. So to me, then the best option is either doing some stamping, or sometimes packaging technique works well. And I'm going to use packaging technique because as long as I can blob it, I can make it move around a little bit, so it's okay if it absorbs into the paper. So I'm using some shimmers. I grab Cotton Candy, Well Blue Me Darn, and then I'm going to grab It's Meant to Be. So the first two are shimmer sprays. The Meant to Be is an original shimmers, just because those colors seem to be what is in that background pattern paper. And I really wanted to bring out some more of the blue because there are big chunks of the pink kind of standing out. And then I'm going to go ahead too and with Night Moves, which is like a dark gray. It's not technically a black. Dark gray shimmers as well. I'm going to splatter, and I end up getting some big splatters, but I'm going to splatter just to add a little bit more of that black to the background. And it's not a ton. It's actually, when it dries because of the gesso and it absorbs in, like I think it looks nice. It doesn't look like too crazy. The one black blob was a little intense on the upper side after I get that, but right there, that giant blob on the upper left hand corner. But some of it gets covered up and it looks like a ghost. It's not a big deal. All right, clean up my space. I definitely am one who needs to clean as I go, but yet my workspace, if you would see past this, it's just a freaking chaotic mess. But where I'm actually working is not, so that's the difference, I guess. My mat was a little wet, and so I didn't want to set this down like face down while I was gluing, so that's why I just flipped it up. But I kind of like having this mixed media mat on there, not only one to reduce the glare for you guys, but I can do that because then I can wipe it, and then if it's still damp, I literally can just fold it over, and I have my glass mat, so I could do more mixed media if I wanted to. It's like double gloving. You take off one set of gloves, and you have another set of clean gloves. So I put that down. I've just been using up my tear tape because I don't have a ton left, and it was such a big roll. So I'm just trying to use that up, and I had my ATG run out, and I was just too lazy to fill it. So I was like, yeah, tear tape. Look, I think my ATG is filled now though. When I started doing this layout, but I just was still using the tear tape. So I'm going ahead and using those puffy thickers from the Simple Stories collection. And I use the Giant Relax, and that's kind of all the same colors that I had going on. It introduces the more green and the orange, but I'm okay with that. And then I'm going to grab a couple of the hearts and one little flower cluster and tuck that in kind of where the sketch has a giant kind of floral cluster between that large photo and the two photos on the left. And then I will grab a sticker from the sticker sheet and just add it to that top as well, so it's a bigger to do up there above the photos. And then do my journaling underneath. Oh yeah, and grab a phrase sticker. This is best ever, and a ticket, and put that down there as too, just to beef that cluster up a little bit. But here's some close-ups, you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you to all my subscribers. I've had a bunch of new ones over the last month, and I really appreciate you all. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.